This is what most people envision when they think of a parasitized horse. Horses that are heavily parasitized like this one tend to look emaciated, pot-bellied and unhealthy. The good news is that this is an old picture. Today we rarely see this extreme condition, except in situations of abuse. Today's parasitized horse seems healthy and athletically able. They may or may not have any visible symptoms of parasitism. However, these horses may be so severely parasitized that both their performance and health are compromised. The truth is, what you can't see may be costing both you and your horse. So why does parasite damage in the modern horse seem so different than it did years ago? Horses and parasites have coexisted quite well for 50 million years with no intervention from man. Although we commonly regard parasites as useless and destructive little mistakes of nature, they play an important positive role in the overall ecosystem. In natural populations, parasites serve as population control mechanisms. When horse populations get too big for the ecosystem, parasites increase in prevalence to the point of killing some of the horses. Though it is not a pleasant thought, parasites can help subtly monitor and effectively maintain a population at an appropriate level. Parasites are an increasing problem in the modern horse because domestic horses are typically maintained in a manner that is vastly different from their natural environment. Even 30 to 40 years ago, horses were kept in predominantly rural environments. That's not the case today. Now, most horses are kept on small acreages around major metropolitan areas. We have made the horse an urban dweller. Domesticated horses are housed in close proximity to one another, frequently in climates that are extremely favourable for parasite development. Although small paddocks and stables are beneficial for the horse in terms of comfort, food quality and general health, the prevalence of parasites under such conditions, and therefore their impact on horses, is magnified beyond that which would occur naturally. For this reason, parasitism is a constant threat to the health and life of domesticated horses. Without adequate and consistent parasite control, horses are vulnerable to the potentially fatal effects of parasitism. Before we begin examining the individual parasite species and their characteristics, let's take a look at how horses and horse parasites have evolved over time. As the horse was developing from Mesohippus, a small migratory herbivore just 15 inches tall, to Equus cabala, the modern-day horse, equine parasites were evolving in parallel, developing life cycles that would function under the conditions endured by the early horse. To fully appreciate the horse-parasite relationship, we have to understand where horses and parasites originated and how they developed. The horse as we know it developed in the last 50 million years in North Africa, the Arabian Peninsula and Central Asia. This region is the genetic cradle of the horse. In this harsh arid climate with sparse vegetation, horses typically migrated approximately 25 miles a day looking for food and water. It was under these rugged conditions that the horse and its parasites developed. By contrast, when we examine the wonderful environment where most horses are kept in Australia, we see the conditions are very favourable compared to what these parasites have learned to adapt to and survive in. If you look at the total parasite problem on a farm or stud, only about 5 to 10% of the parasites are in the horse at any one time. The other 90 to 95% of parasites in the form of eggs and larvae are on the ground, allowing for constant recontamination. This is why it is vital that owners have their horses on a good worming program.